Welcome to Trading Lounge and the European indices for Wednesday, June 29. I'm starting with the Nasdaq here because I need to point out that I am looking at a bearish count. Now I've got two bearish counts. This is a big bearish count. There is a smaller one as well, but it doesn't really matter for the point being here. So what we've been looking for in the US markets, in the S&P, and then this is the Nasdaq 100 here, is basically an ABC correction back up to the 50-60%, retracement area as such. So we've got that in. We've got three waves up here, and now we're going to see if we get five waves down. Currently, you can see here we've got 1 and 2 here roughly, and the third wave down. We'll still need the fourth and the fifth. If we do get five waves here, then we're going to have a correction here, rally off the 11,500, and then we're going to come down further. If this is the case, if this is true, then we would expect the DAX and the STOXX 50 and the FTSE to be under that sort of pressure as well. So we need to prepare for this. So it may or may not be the case. So the first step is in this instance is that we've got three waves down here. We still need to get wave 4 and 5. Once we can confirm that we've got 5 waves here, then we can look at the ABC rally here, and then what we'll be looking to do will be to short under the B wave here as an A and a B and a C, and we'll also be able to take that top there, that bottom there, and look at that 50-60% and look to short that in there, because we can short that in there because we'll have 5 waves here. Based on that 5 waves, we can look to short in that box. So we've looked at this in detail on the US indices, so you can go there and have a little look. I'm just using this particular chart here because it's nice and clean, that's all. So there we go. Will the DAX follow this lower in this instance here? That's the question. Okay, so we need to work through that. We don't need to rush. We don't need to chase the market. First of all, we need 5 waves down here. This third wave down here is just about landed. We'll still need the fourth and the fifth, and then we'll need the ABC rally over here. So we've got time to mull it over, but if we do get those 5 waves here, we need to start preparing for short trades over here, building in over here. So that's what we need to consider with the DAX as well. Now the DAX has got a funny old pattern here, and you could look at it in different ways as we've done before. You could look at all of this as the A wave here. You could look at this here as a B wave here. I've got this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming down. It'll probably come down deeper to the 11,500. But the thing is that we could also look at this as being bullish as well. We could put this over here. We could find an A wave, we could use that A wave here, then we could go an A, B, C here, and have the B wave over here and the C wave over here for that. But that's just as good as guess as anything else at this point. So we don't particularly want to get into the guessing game as such. It's good to understand what possibilities that there are. But if the Nasdaq is going to give us that 5 down, then we need to be able to look at this in the same light as well. So in this case, if we go to the intraday, I think we're on the 2K ticks. Yeah, I think so. Anyway, we'll sort it out. So the thing down here is that it's a little bit complicated and so on. So this move here, I could count 5 waves up here. So we could have that as wave 1 here and coming back for wave 2 here, and then be bullish from that point. Okay, so that's over, I've been speaking over yesterday, and that was, we were looking for a rally. We got the rally, then we were looking for a move back down, so we got that, and then we could go up from that point, and we could go down. So do we have an ABC rally here, and then we're going to go up from the point? If that is the case, in the first instance, we can just simply go long above here. But what happens if we, this is, just pull this 1 and 2 and 3. We're very close to 5 waves being in here. So if we got some, look, it might come down a bit further or something, but if we can see that we get an ABC rally here in line with the other markets, the US markets that is, then we need to look at being short through all of this under this level as the resistance here will start building into the short side at that point. So I don't know if this is going to come down here or this is going to go up through here, but that top there would send us long and this would send us short. Now the other way to look at this, because it's a little bit complicated down here, yes, we could look at this as 1, 2, 3 here and 4 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, or not quite like that, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, it's a bit overlappy, isn't it? Otherwise we need to, because I could go wave 3 here, wave 4 here, and down for wave 5. We could also put wave 4 over here and have this as wave C of 4. So an A wave here, B wave here, and a C wave here, and then down for 1, back for 2, down for 1, back for 2, down for 1, and back for 2. So which is which? If the US count is right, then would see this move down further at this point. So we don't really need to do anything today, but just sort of highlighting both counts and also highlighting that, let's just say that if the 13,000 became the retested resistance, with a very simple pattern or maybe a bit more complex pattern where it goes back above the level, in this case, and then comes down, there's more likely. If that occurs here, then you need to be on the bearish side because we'd be going down to 11,500 here at least. So it's quite a way down. Yeah. So there we go. That's it in a bit of a nutshell. So tomorrow we'll be looking at, as I mentioned during the week, that Tuesday it starts to get a bit choppy, and then Wednesday and Thursdays get choppier still, and they will give us our swing days, and we're getting those swing days, and we'll be able to use the highs and lows of those swing days to put us in a particular direction. Okay, so that's what we're looking at the moment. So this could very easily be, wave. Let me see that spike there. I have to pull that apart, and that's a little bit dodgy in here, and that looks like 5 waves to that. Anyway, I'll sort that out, but we can start looking at it as a bearish count to the downside. So that's that really. We're going to know very shortly. I'm pretty in looking at the US stocks, which kind of, the big tech stocks, they kind of dictate the market a bit, and you can narrow them down to the Apples of the world and so on, and they are showing 5 waves down from the top, so we need to be a bit careful about those as the direction. So yeah, basically we're looking to be short in this market. That seems to be the bias at this point, but we just need to wait for this ABC rally to come in. So this is what we'll be looking for in tomorrow's in the next video, to see if we need to be on this side. But in the meantime, if this just comes through here and finds that number as the resistance, then we can look to be short at that point. And that'll be the same for the stock 50 as well. We're looking for it being an A wave, an ABC for the B wave, and then going up for the C wave. That's a bit of a long shot. The other side is that we are coming down here further, and I kind of like that. And yeah, we need to be short under the 3,400. We could probably get in at the 3,500 here as well. I think we should now go in and look at that on the 100 ticks, just to sort of zoom in there and get some sort of so it's basically the same pattern really. So what we could do, because we could look at this as an ABC pattern here and then go to the upside here. That's well, that's what that's all about there. That's possible at that point. You know, I mean, the market is moving up. It's got a corrective pattern, you know, but we still need to confirm a move up in that regard. All we need to watch now is a move down. So when this lands here, it will land into, this is the 50-60%, and the 35 is really important. So when it lands here, we're going to see where it might come lower here a little bit, but it's just about there. And then we'll see a you know, a corrective move back up, 50-60%, maybe the 35-50 area, and then down again at that point. So you either need to be short over here, or if you're got a keen eye and you can find the bottom of the B wave here, then you can short it there. Normally we would short it at the top there, but we don't have a nice clean 5 waves down. If that was the high, right, and we had a nice clean 5 waves down, by all means I would short the corrective rally here. And that's really what we're looking for in the US market. So you might be able to work that in there. If you see this is a NASDAQ here of 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 coming down to 11.5 and then having the bounce there. If you see those 5 waves here, then you know that the DAX and the FTSE and the STOXX 50 and anything else will be doing much the same as well. So then you'll be able to short it like we're going to short it here on 5 waves. But because we don't have 5 waves here, we would need to look at this as down for 1, back for 2, down for 1, back for 2, and you know, building lower in that case. So anyway, what we're doing is just preparing to be short, because if it is the case, that's where the next trend is going to be, and we need to be all over it. And the FTSE, well, with the FTSE here, we'd been in line, you know, in line with the US markets and other markets. Looking, we had the A wave here, then we looked for the B wave, and then we waited for the C wave, and it went up a little bit higher than I thought, but it really reached its target up here, 3rd wave, 4th wave, and then yesterday we were looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to finish off. So that's finished off nicely. This is a little bit different here, isn't it? You know, this here has just got this straight move down here. I haven't had time to pull it apart. I can see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So I could go 1 and 2, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I got it. So we could look at this as we're going that way with it. So we'll look at that as 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3rd wave here. Because the extension's in the 3rd wave, that means that the 4th wave here, the 5th wave coming down here rather, is going to be it's going to be the same size as wave 1. Not exactly the same. It's just, take that with a pinch of salt. It's just to say that, well, the extension's in the 3rd wave, and that means that wave 1 and 5 will be roughly the same. I got that right there, or was that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there? I'll need to go to here, and then that extends that out further, doesn't it? Maybe I need to drop it one more, but I'm just going to put it here for the moment. I'll just need to double check that a little bit later, but it doesn't really matter at this point, because what's going to happen is we're going to get we need to wait for this A wave here, B wave and C wave here for this. So this is completely different from the other markets, you know. So what will happen here, because we do have 5 waves down here, it could be that, you know, I've made a mistake and this is just the A wave here. Let's just have a look at both sides of the coin, and this would be the B wave up here somewhere, and then the C and a C wave down here for this. But the thing is, if we got 5 waves here and we short it on the retracement level, wherever that is, and we'll need to adjust that. So that means taking that high and that low, wherever the low may be, and we're looking in there. And we also want to, we normally put it in that little pocket there of the 61.8%, but I'm going to bring it down to the 40%, between 40 and 60, because we don't want to miss it. And plus we've got 5 waves here, so we're going to get a counter trend and we're going to come down. So the only way we could lose is if we have we don't reach our target area here, and then, we mess it up like that, which happens quite often, so we'll just wait for that to play out. So we don't need to do much really. That will probably be, that's going to be down here further, that B wave, I think. it's going to hit that. It's going to hit that 7,300, and it's going to react from that, you know. And that will probably be lower as well, and we'll take that. So probably, I mean, it's not going to be that 7,300, the top of minor group 1, and this is subgroup 1 here, 10, 20 and 30. It's going to be in there somewhere. That's where it's going to be. And I can just highlight that here a little bit, take it up a notch. So of 7,000, that's minor group 1, 2 and 3. When if number 2 here becomes the retested resistance, then the market's going to be pulled down to the 7 at that point. So we'll see at that point. We've got time to look at short trades in here, and we can see how quick this comes down, because if it's a C wave, this is the speed of wave 1, that angle there. So if we want a C wave here, we want it at the same angle or less. If it's going to be a wave 3, this one here, then it's going to be sharper than the wave 1 here. So we can look at the personality of the structure being, you know, as a sort of how the speed of it in that way, you know, that will help us, you know. But there will be a bounce on the 2. And of course, you've got, you know, all the numbers between here, and if we put that at 5, because 5 is the second strongest number, and 1 is the strongest number, and we'll put that down here. So the Fibonacci sequence as 10, 20, 30 for group 1, the midpoint 50, and then 80, and then group 2 within 80 there. I won't put all that in, but you're going to have you know, we're going to have issues at this level here for that. Anyway, that's where that is. So the FTSE is giving us a clearer sort of bearish signal, you know. And that is the top, just checking we don't have something else going on here. So FTSE's, yeah, good to go. We can short up at that point, and you know, if you can get 3 or 4 small positions in between in all of this here, then we will be able to see how we go. But yeah, that's that. And over to the currencies, the US dollar index. I'm thinking that it's probably best to look at this here. This counts really nicely as an A and a B and a C with 5 waves in there. I won't go in there. So we can look at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And yesterday we were looking, saying, well, if it pops out of the trend line like it has, then it's probably on the bullish side. And we expected it to do that because the stochastics is pulling back in that regard as well. Still trending down, but, you know, loading up as such. But it's not over until the big lady sings. So it's still possible to have wave 4 sitting over here for this. But if this moves up here and takes you know, a good few days to go up there, then that will help the euro to the downside, the DAX to the downside, the FTSE to the downside, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, and all that will go down for one leg as well. So yeah, so that's all quite fitting really. And the euro US dollar is the same. We were looking at this being wave 4 over here with an A wave, a B wave and a C wave here, but it's not really displaying a nice 5 wave move here. It's still possible to push up, but because the DAX, because the S&P 500 is under pressure, then you know, this is likely to move down while the dollar moves up, and yeah, so we could probably put that over there, but I can't confirm that. What I could say is that if this number here, the 105, not the 105.3, just the 1.0500 becomes the retested resistance, then you can look to short that down here further. So that needs to become the resistance. It still can push up here, but you know, with the S&P, you know, with the US stocks, the tech stocks ready to push down, this should follow down in that regard. And we are seeing this. See how this has come up really a long way compared to this, and yet the price has only moved up sort of, I don't know, like not as much, you know. So this is quite close to its previous top and this is not. So this is being straight. It's telling me that, you know, this is under pressure to roll over here for that. But as always, we need evidence, and we need that 10500 as a retested resistance before you can short that. And if you do short it, we'll end up down at the 1 here. This will act as a bit of a magnet down here and pull on down here. But between 1 here and 1.1 here, we'll have the Fibonacci numbers running here in price ratio. So you'll have, I'll just do it very roughly, 1, 2, and 3 here that make up group 1. And when that market comes down to hit on number 3 here, it's going to bounce and take you back to 4 at minimum. Okay, and then we've got 5 here, then we've got 8 up here, and then we got group 2 in here. That will be 65 and 72 in here. Close enough for the time being. Give that a splash of color. So these are, you know, the trading levels are just the Fibonacci numbers as a price ratio here. So basically the Fibonacci sequence is really just 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8. And then it goes back to the beginning again. So when it goes back to the beginning, the power of 10 will go 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, and then 10, 20, 30, 50, 80, 100, 200, 300, and so on. You know, there are other numbers important, you know, within all of that. So but I tend to find that, you know, because if you go 8, the next number is 13, and then 21. So we use 13 a lot, and we also use the number 3 as the top of group 1, and it's 3 is the third strongest number. So the strongest number is 1, 5, 3, and then 8. And then, so if you're going, you know, 13, then the next number is 21. So 21 is important, but 20 is more important. It's got the 0 with it, psychological terms, because this is, people put orders around certain numbers, big numbers, numbers with zeros on it, even numbers, you know, like if you've got, you know, people would be thinking of number 10. They don't think of 9 or 11, you know, so 10 is 1. So 1, 10, 100, 1,000, and so on and so on. 1 cent, 10 cents, you know, for penny. That's where all the orders will come out from. Anyway, enough waffling. That's it. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.